We could talk about whether or not that was a foul or whatever the case may be. Malik Beasley, you called out Karl Anthony Towns, or you said you wasn't worried about him. Well, you should be, because the big bodega been putting in that work in your arena, wiping his feet all over your damn furniture with muddy shoes. Look at Karl Anthony Towns. Yes, we know he's known as a shooter, stretch big, but he got a bag, the little dream shape, going behind the basket, looking Jordan-esque with that in the crucial moments. And then here it is again. Oh, damn, that was a bucket. Then check this out. It's only one big, Shanae, Malika in the league, like y'all said, that could do this right here. Look at this right here. One of the most skilled bigs I've ever seen to play the game of basketball. Watch this move. Step back. Crucial time. Dot in his eye. Check out this right here, though. Check out these numbers. Game 2, 0 points in the fourth quarter, in the second half, 0 for 1. In the arena, 3 and 4, 14 points in the second half, 5 for 6 from the three-point line. Karl Anthony Towns is a problem. He's going to continue to be a problem. He's happy. He's playing for his city. Carry on.
The fact that a 7-foot center is hitting fadeaway jumpers and
to
above
ice the
the break clutch threes to give their team the win. This is why you go get Karl Anthony Towns. From the self-proclaimed best shooting big man ever to the best shooter period, Steph Curry, he took matters into his own hands in game 3 without Jimmy Butler. He dropped 36 points to carry the Warriors past the Rockets and put Golden State in control of this series. But ahead of tonight's game 4 matchup, I want to bring in our Shams Charania. Shams, what's the latest on Butler's status for tonight's game?
Malika, Jimmy Butler is doing everything possible to try to play tonight in game 4. Everything in his power he's been doing. Treatment, workouts on the court over the last 24 hours. And then today was a full participant at shoot around. I'm told the Warriors and Jimmy Butler are expecting him to make his return tonight in game 4. The mobility is getting there for him. We spoke about it on NBA Countdown on Saturday. He just was not moving well enough to play. The Warriors doctors ruled him out. So he may not be 100% tonight, but he does want to play. The Warriors are expecting him and are optimistic that he will be able to play as they try to go up 3-1.
We know the work ethic of playoff Jimmy is unlike any other. So again, working to come back, hopeful to come back for this game 4. Shams, thank you, our senior insider, or actually, should I say, following unfortunate breaking news out of Sunday night's Pacers-Bucks game in Milwaukee here. This is the first quarter. Just watch Damian Lillard. After Gary Trent Jr. misses the 3, he stumbles, falls forward. He stayed seated on the floor during the rest of the Bucks possession and the next Pacers possession before a foul. Lillard needed help getting off of the floor here. This had all the hallmarks of an Achilles injury, non-contact, goes down holding the back of that calf here. Just one more look. Damian Lillard, he would sit on the floor there waiting for his teammates to pick him up. He went back to the locker room and he did not return. Then Indiana takes a 3-1 series lead here. But of course, all eyes after this one on Damian Lillard. And the Bucks, they posted this image to their social media last night after the game. You can see the caption. It reads, "Love you, Dame." So let's bring in our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania here. Shams, I just mentioned this. This certainly looked like an Achilles injury. What is the official diagnosis?
Malika, sources tell me Damian Lillard has been diagnosed with a torn left Achilles tendon. He underwent an MRI late this morning in Milwaukee that revealed the severity. He is out for the season. And of course, the timeline of Achilles tears, that puts next season potentially in jeopardy as well. Usually it's a calendar year, potentially with an Achilles tear. So just devastating for not only Damian Lillard, the Bucks as well. He himself has overcame a lot this year. He had multiple different injuries at different points with the calf. He had a 3.5-week unprecedented in his right calf that he came back from just about a week ago, last Tuesday, for game 2 of this series against the Pacers. And now he has a left Achilles tear. He is done for the season. And it's crippling for the Bucks in a lot of ways because now you have a salary slot of $60 million with Damian Lillard for next season.
Shams, thank you so very much. Stick around. We're going to talk to you in a little bit for an update on Jimmy Butler as well ahead of the Rockets and Warriors game 4 here. But first, staying in Milwaukee, let's take a listen together to Doc Rivers on Damian Lillard last night.
This is a tough one, honestly. Blood clot, followed by this. It's just tough. I've seen injuries like deflate teams, but tonight, that one hurt.
it's hard. It's hard being in this position. But the man, like, is one of the toughest, mentally toughest guys I've ever been around, and that's why he is who he is. I always had respect for Dame before we became teammates, but now my respect level is much higher, and I believe he's going to overcome every obstacle that's going to be in front of him. Everybody going to be there for him, and no matter what the obstacle is for him, he's going to overcome it, and we're going to help him overcome it.
Here now with Chiney Ogwumike, Kendrick Perkins, Brian Windhorst, who's going to be joining us in just a moment as well. This is unfortunate under any circumstance, but in a league full of great guys, Damian Lillard, Chiney, is one of the best. When you saw this, what was your reaction?
My heart was broken.
Yeah.
You guys know I've known Dame for a long time. We're close friends. And to see him go through this type of circumstance, knowing all that he has fought through, it was tough to watch. But Giannis said it best. You know, he's one of the mentally toughest guys we know. And I know Dame, the recovery starts right now. He's that competitive. Now, as for Achilles injury, I have had one. And a lot of people will start talking about the timelines for those. Some are conservative, like a year, and some are accelerated. And this is one thing that I think people should understand when it comes to timelines. Over the last decade, the science when it comes to Achilles actually has improved dramatically. I was a beneficiary of one of these types of circumstances. Prior to 10 years ago, if you saw an Achilles injury, it would go from your ankle, the bottom of your foot, all the way up to your mid-calf. Now these surgeries have really allowed athletes to come back quicker. Now that scar is about 2 inches long. We've also seen some amazing comebacks from Kevin Durant to Breanna Stewart, who had an MVP season and a championship after tearing her Achilles. Alyssa Thomas, that's my former teammate who went through it. The timeline has shifted. People can come back quicker, but still, I think, given the point in Dame's career, he's going to be smart and probably go the long, haul for this type of situation. It was tough to see, but I do want people to not think that this is like the end of a circumstance for someone. More so, it's the fact that, science has helped athletes recover quicker than before.
Well, one, we want him to hurry up and get back on the floor because he's a joy and a blessing to watch. He never cheats the game. One of the most elite scorers that we have ever seen at the point guard position. But you have to start to wonder, right, at this stage of his career,
34 years old.
The timing. And when you talk about what he needs and what he was trying to accomplish, obviously forcing his way out of Portland, going team up with Giannis Antetokounmpo, it was all about championships. And you only have a certain amount of time or a window when you talk about competing for a championship. And you look at the young studs that's coming up, Tatum, Anthony Edwards, all those guys that are coming up right about,
Oh, no, you're right.
That are coming up right about now. And so that's the only thing that's the second thing that came to mind is like, when he does return, is it going to be too late for us, him being able to go out there and try to go pursue and and win a ring?
And those players that I mentioned, Perk, you're right. Kevin Durant, Breanna Stewart, Stewie's like 6'4", 6'5". KD's 7 feet. He can shoot, right? She can shoot over people. Dame being a little bit smaller, trying to, maximize his explosive or athleticism. The rest of that, that is harder for a guy like him.
Right, and Damian Lillard is 34. Kevin Durant was 30, and so you kind of look at those differences as well. I want to bring in Brian Windhorst joining us from Miami here. Just devastating news for Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks. And when you start to look towards the future of Milwaukee, what changes, Brian, in the immediate future here?
Yeah, Malika, obviously everybody feels for Dame Lillard, he's a top 75 all-time player, but it would be intellectually dishonest not to talk that the league's reaction is what does this mean for Giannis Antetokounmpo? This is now going to be potentially 3 consecutive years that the Bucks don't reach the second round. Of the last 9 playoff games that Giannis has even played in, they are 1-8 in those games, despite him averaging 30, 15, and 6 assists. It's going to be very difficult for the Bucks to present him with a team potentially missing all of next season for Dame Lillard that is going to be able even to get to this level. So the question for the whole NBA is, what does Giannis do about it? Does Giannis indicate to the team he wants to stay put and remain a Buck going forward, or does Giannis indicate he may want to look around? And if the answer is B, the entire NBA offseason will hinge on it. I don't even think any team can make a big move until they figure out what Giannis might prefer.
One thing we do know is that John Horst is going to be at the helm of whatever direction this goes. He just signed a contract extension, the general manager with the Milwaukee Bucks, so he will either be stewarding this, continuing to make moves around the margins here around a Giannis Antetokounmpo, or looking towards a new new chapter in Milwaukee. Of course, Dame was the somber note that Sunday ended on, but earlier in the day, we did have a pair of games on ABC that came down to the wire. So let's head to Minnesota for Lakers Timberwolves game 4 here today. Anthony Edwards and LeBron James, they've got a little bit chippy early on.
A little tussle here, and this is what Ant loves, right? Ant is talking to Bron, then he's physical with him, and Bron, I like this. He's like, I might be 40, but you can't call me shorty, okay?
And then Anthony Edwards, though, in the second quarter, just showing how this game was going to go here. And we heard it post-game. He said, you know what? This is a young man's league. Going ahead to the fourth part, this is where in the regular season, Minnesota had some issues. Not in this series.
Maybe I voted him too early. I should have voted him for most clutch player in the postseason because damn it, he been cooking.
Not your boy Brunson.
But all I've been hearing, Anthony Edwards, he shoot too many threes. Guess what? He make a whole lot
Pay
of
it off right now.
The Lakers have a response here, though. Austin Reeves, after a slow first half, got going here in the second. Huge three there. And then Julius Randle looking, gives it up to Dante DiVincenzo, blocked by James.
We got the iconic call and shout out to Richard Jefferson because this paid off on the other end with another knockdown.
And this is when I thought, okay, maybe the Lakers are going to hold on in this one after the Dorian Finney-Smith all started with that block from LeBron James. Huge defensive effort there. But then in the final seconds here, Sinead, this play stood out to you.
It's huge because he really controlled everything. The Lakers are in a zone and Ant has the smarts to get it to his teammates in the middle. This and one tied up the game.
And you can tell by the look on Austin Reeves' face, he knew that that was an incredibly costly foul here. So Minnesota up one. Initially, this was called Lakers ball. Anthony Edwards imploring Chris Finch to challenge and review it. And because of Hawkeye technology and a rule change last year, remember, this wasn't just able to be reviewed for an out-of-bounds play. It could also be reviewed for a foul. And so a foul on LeBron James was called. One more chance here for Los Angeles.
correct pass.
It's a good look. Austin Reeves didn't get it to go. And so it's Minnesota that takes a huge 3-1 series lead. Here's Anthony Edwards on how they wore down the Lakers in the fourth quarter.
I feel like we took their best punches throughout the game and to start the third and then to end the third. So, and I felt like they was gassed going down the stretch. So just trying to, keep my foot on the pedal and keep going.
You made the change of the lineup to start the second half and went with those guys the whole way through. Was that planned?
No, it wasn't planned, but we just made the decision at halftime.
Okay, so the Lakers, they played their lineup of Luka, Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and Rui Hachimura for all 24 minutes in the second half. That made them the first team with no substitutions in a playoff half over the last 25 years. Brian, what did this game tell you about Los Angeles?
Well, it told me a lot about what J.J. Redick thinks of his roster, which is he doesn't trust it very much. He certainly doesn't trust his centers. He played Jackson Hayes, his only center, 4 minutes in this game. That's it. And obviously didn't make a substitution in the second half. Really tried to play this like a Game 7. He obviously felt that with 2 days off before Game 5 that this was a game he had to go to. And it just kind of backfired on him. I think LeBron, was gassed down the stretch. He ended up resting on offense, I felt. It was a bit of a gamble, frankly, because Luka had been ill. LeBron coming off heavy minutes on Friday night, just 36 hours later playing again. They made a decision back in February not to, to go with Mark Williams, to rescind that center trade. When they did that, they knew they weren't going to have a team that matched up against everybody. And in some ways, this is a tough matchup for them. And JJ voted with his silence when it came to looking to his bench.
I mean, look, y'all can live in the Lakerland. I'm going to the guy himself. Anthony Edwards, the best young leader in the game, top 5 player in the game. What he did yesterday afternoon reminded me of not only Jordan and Kobe mentality, but reminded me that it's no other guy that's his age that's in the same conversation with him when it comes to his mental. Right? His mental toughness is just different. The dog in him is just different. That's what this game was about. Anthony Edwards. We could talk about JJ playing his entire starting five, the whole 24. Anthony Edwards played 24 minutes too. Anthony Edwards took over that damn game. Anthony Edwards is every former player favorite player. I wish I could have played with Anthony Edwards. Real talk. If we took a poll right now of all the retired players and all the retired greats and asked them who would they want to go team up with, 9 times out of 10, all of them go say that man right there because of the dog in him. Not just what he brings on the offensive side of things, but damn it, defensively. He is a pit.
Oh, wait. Are you going to make the sound?
You knew that.
So I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. There we go. So you say that it's former players' favorite player. I think he's also current players' favorite players. Because what we have seen is Anthony Edwards loves to be a giant slayer. We saw that last year, taking down Jokic, taking down KD. Now he has the opportunity of a lifetime to really make your career and take down LeBron James and Luka. And it all came down to execution down the stretch, and he was dang near flawless. 20 of their 32 points in the fourth quarter were generated by him. He had 16 points of that compared to the Lakers' overall 19.
Beyonce
it was
flawless.
Masterful.
You're going to be ready for tonight to go to the concert.
Flawless, yeah.
But maybe playing 46 clutch time games in the regular season, they were not a very good clutch time team. Maybe that's paying off here because their execution down the stretch, you're not seeing Anthony Edwards play hero ball. And I think the folks that maybe thought, okay, the Lakers could have the advantage in this series, they were looking at that. They were looking at the late game execution at the Timberwolves. And all of a sudden, Anthony Edwards, in stark contrast to JJ Redick trusting 4.5 guys, really, Anthony Edwards is trusting his teammates.
Literally, he breathes life into his guys to make big plays.
Exactly.
That's what I fell in love with yesterday.
And it's that lineup that they have. They've been running that DiVincenzo, Nas, Randall, McDaniels alongside Ant to close games, saying, okay, you know what, Rudy, we're still going to play you 20 minutes, but it's not going to be that closing lineup.
This is the best basketball I've seen Julius Randle play in the postseason, and we could credit Anthony Edwards.
Absolutely. Hey, coming up here on NBA Today. We can do that. Remember, no Drew Holiday in this game as well. Perk, Derek White going to work here, but Wendell Carter Jr. had other ideas.
It's physical. The Magic got to junk up the game. They don't have the talent to compete with the Celtics. But I would be out there on the same thing, to be honest with y'all. I mean, if you go beat us, at least you gonna know you was in the fight.
Al Horford did not like that.
Gonna have a black eye or something.
That's
going
Rockets
ahead to the fourth quarter here. The Celtics now up by 2. Jason Tatum drives here, fouled by Anthony Black. Tatum goes down hard, holding that wrist. Remember, that's been hurting him a bit, but he would go on to make both free throws here. And then we're gonna pick this one up at the next Boston possession. The fouling?
No, the swiping at the wrist.
We saw that, but you couldn't even swipe mine,
Perk. Wrist looked just fine here.
It woke up a giant.
Exactly.
And then he's holding his wrist there saying, yeah, you know what, I got this. I'm just fine here.
Try me.
And then he lobs it up to Kristaps Porzingis.
That was aggressive.
And the foul.
Need more, though. I mean, not just in this series, Sinead. Need more out of Kristaps Porzingis.
The scar makes him look like a Disney villain. I love it. And he gets a little
like a what?
A Disney villain.
Oh, yeah, something like
All right, let's check in on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder.
What they doing?
Perk, do you need your floor swept? Because we got some extra brooms around after the Thunder took care of business here. SGA and OKC. Remember, no Ja Morant in this one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, though, he came out on a mission in the first, scoring from the mid-range, getting buckets at the rim, getting out in transition. 16 points, 7 of 7 from the field.
He did exactly what a superstar's supposed to do on the road, on the closeout game. Set the tone. I got y'all. Sit back.
A bright spot for Memphis, Chanae. Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah, he's had a great final quarter of the NBA season. His energy, his acceptance of the challenge, that's at least one of the few bright spots for them.
Right here, stripped by Chet Holmgren. Pippen Jr. quickly picked up his 6th foul.
Oh, you dancing with the stars.
To the left.
Hey.
Gets a spin, the step back in the bucket. Everybody clap your hands because he finished with 38 points and he gives a little peace out sign to the Grizzlies.
Malika, how low can you go?
And you go down low. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers, they took a commanding 3-0 series lead over Tyler Hero and the Heat here. Remember, no Darius Garland in this one as well. Watch though, Donovan Mitchell dropping it off there. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, the big-to-big action.
Yeah, you've had questions about this team. They're answering them quickly with a swiftness. Even down one All-Star, they still find a seamless offensive production that I'm like, okay, they mean business this time of the year.
Going ahead to the third quarter here. The Cavs up 21.
Oop.
Mitchell nails the step back there. Quiet day for Mitchell. Only scored 13 points, but that's all that they needed, Perk.
I mean, they're getting it done defensively, but that man right there, the most important piece on the Cleveland Cavaliers, Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley. I wish I knew his middle name.
The Cavaliers, they take a 3-0 series lead here. They played this game without Darius Garland. He was out with a toe sprain. Wendy, what impressed you the most in this Game 3 victory?
The way the Cavs just totally shifted their strategy midway through a series. They had their guards dominate games 1 and 2. Game 3, with Darius Garland out, they just went and played bigger and shifted to focusing on the bigs, and they were awesome. On offense, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley dominated. They had the whole team had 30 baskets in the paint. 30, which was huge. And then defensively, they played DeAndre Hunter and Dean Wade more off the bench to fill in those minutes, and the Heat could not get the ball inside. They just couldn't. Didn't crack 90 points in this game. 1 o'clock afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon game, that's got, lethargy looking all over it.
Right.
Cavs win by 35. Very impressive display.
It's hard to decide who has been more impressive between the 1 seeds, OKC and the Cavaliers, but Cleveland is certainly making their case here. All right, now on to the undisputed, it's the best series of the first round so far. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets against Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. This series has been an all-out brawl, and that's almost what happened at the end of the first half here. Was it a punch? Well, the referee said no, that it wasn't a closed fist.
That's what Malika likes to call a kerfuffle.
It is a kerfuffle.
But look, I think the increased physicality coming off of the criticism of the All-Star game, we got to get back to the nitty-gritty of hoops. They have arrived. These playoff matchups have delivered, and guys are taking it personally.
All 6 different players received technical fouls, but I did like that the referee said, you know what, no one's tossed, let's play on, and that's exactly what Norm Powell did.
Ooh, big buckets.
Hey, let someone check on that man. You okay, Steve Ballmer?
You need to be checking on us with all that liquid.
It was a 22-point lead here for the Denver Nuggets at one point. The Clippers come all the way back here to take a 1-point lead. Final minute game is all tied up here.
Ridiculous shots.
Nikola Jokic going to work. That's great defense by Zubac, but Jokic
impeccable defense
to go.
Trying to see if there was a travel.
2-point game here. James Harden can't get that one to go, but Zubac is there. And that brings us to today's electric moment, brought to you by Hyundai. Was it a shot or was it a lob? After the miss there from Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon is there to clean it up. Sinead, do we have a nickname for this yet?
We don't. Not yet.
Altitude Air Gordon is what I'm going with until further notice. After review, by just the hair on your chinny chin chin, Aaron Gordon is able to get that shot to go, and the series is all tied up. Here's what it sounded like after the game.
It's a nice pass.
Yes. So, Joker, was it a pass?
No, it wasn't.
Always of Paris, and we'll always have the last 2-minute reports. That's probably what the Pistons are saying after this game on Sunday. We're going to pick this one up. The Knicks and Pistons late in the third quarter here. Jalen Brunson, watch him though. He got stripped in the backcourt by Dennis Schroeder, and then Schroeder fights Kane Cunningham. But Brunson, he is holding his right ankle there. Remember, he missed March 7th through April 5th with that right ankle sprain he sustained against the Los Angeles Lakers. He did head back to the locker room here, with Knicks fans certainly holding their breath.
No, this one Detroit fans should have been holding their breath, because every time he go to the locker room and come back, he becomes special.
Huge 3 there to end the half there for Malik Beasley. Going ahead to the fourth quarter, this is what you're talking about, Perk.
I'm telling you.
He comes back, and he looked just fine there.
Oh, so y'all just not go double team him. Oh, on the island by himself. Come here.
Cooking.
Forget going trap and get the ball out of his hands, huh?
By the way, he's had at
That's
least
crazy.
30.7 assists in each of his first 4 games of this series. It's the longest streak in NBA playoff history.
Oh, nice pull up.
Cade Cunningham.
He's different.
Putting on
Grown
the
man
brakes.
out there.
Yeah.
He's an adult.
Those are grown buckets.
Oh,
And speaking of which, wait,
that was a bucket.
Clutch shot there
Damn
by
it.
Karl Anthony Towns.
this right here.
Up fakes.
Only one guy probably can do that the way he does.
And only one guy can celebrate
That's
the way
it.
that Spike Lee
At
does.
center, that's what I meant.
Karl Anthony Towns shooting just under 20 points a game on 50%
You didn't say
shooting.
one other guy. You said one guy.
But it's still just a 1-point game here. Another chance for Detroit.
Great
Numbers
look.
no good. And somehow it gets kicked back out here to Tim Hardaway Jr. in the corner. The Pistons hoping, imploring for a foul here. JB Bickerstaff on the floor saying this should be a foul. No foul was called as we take one more look at it. Did Josh Hart's body get in to the shooter here? Here's Tim Hardaway Jr. after the game.
Everyone's going to be talking about that final play, that final shot. How did you see it?
You guys saw it. Play.
I made contact with him, yeah. I mean, I made contact with him. Was it legal? I don't know. we'll let the 2-minute report say that.
Going back to Madison Square Garden, happy we got a win. You like that answer? Is that good?
So the referees, right after the game, a pool report was conducted, and they already came out and said, you know what, this should have been a foul called. So was that no call what just decided the series here?
Hell no. I mean, listen, the Detroit Pistons had multiple opportunities to close that game out at home. Cade Cunningham had 2 crucial turnovers in the fourth. It was some missed shots there. And here's the thing. What time the 2-minute report comes out?
Like 3 o'clock?
Okay, cool. I can't wait for that to come out either, because I want to see what other fouls that were missed that was on Detroit. But these are the turnovers. But guess what? I'm not mad at Cade for this. First time being in the postseason.
Had a triple-double.
Yeah, the leader of this team, his future is bright. He played his behind off. But again, I want to see the 2-minute report, the full one, and then I'll be able to evaluate how I feel.
If I am like submitting my Christmas request to the league, I would like a way for us, if the game comes down to the final possession, for us to still review it so that they have the opportunity to maybe correct some of those controversial calls, especially when a series is on the line. But nonetheless, you're right, Perk. This actually was a bigger fourth quarter issue for the Detroit Pistons because they allowed Jalen Brunson to straight up go off. He's averaging 13.3 points in the fourth quarter. That man just got himself an award, the clutch player of the year.
Right.
You can't have 2 people going off in Karl-Anthony Towns knocking down 5 threes and Brunson cooking in isolation. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, yes, the final possession, the final shot did not go your way, but still, Jalen Brunson has been the biggest problem overall in this series, and I just feel like that needs to be addressed first and foremost.
I mean, trap him. You know how many times they trap Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter? The percentage, 6%. What?
Well, while Perk is waiting for the last 2-minute report, I hear he's making a little run to the corner store. He's making a run to the Big Bow.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we noticed that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.